We're going to have you guys formed in the shadow of Star Wars Battlefront, the OG games from the mid 2000s, Battlefront 1, Battlefront 2. Those games, they were so cool. They were so good. I played them with my brothers so much, so long, so hard. And oh man, it was good. Well, eventually it kind of died out. They had Battlefront 1, Battlefront 2, of course. There were rumors there was going to be a third game. Never really materialized. Disney had a new CEO come in and take over, named Bob Iger. He took over from another guy named Michael Eisner. And Bob Iger came in and tried to reform the Disney company and restructure everything. And one of the ways he did that was by shutting down basically all of their game design and game development stuff, whether it was Lucasfilm Games or whatever else. He shut them all down and said, we're going to license out our IP to other game designers and developers and publishers. And we're just going to give the rights and then take a chunk of the revenue. But we're not going to bother making the games ourselves because that's hard. We don't want to do that. That's too difficult. So he shut down all that stuff, including a big Pirates of the Caribbean game that was pretty much done. It was supposed to release in just a few months, and that is now lost media. And some other stuff that was in the works around the late 2000s going into the early 2010s. But one of the projects that was caught up just before all of this major transformations happened was Battlefront 3. This was shut down presumably around 2008 for various reasons. And we never really heard anything about it. But 16 years after the fact, the gameplay of Star Wars Battlefront 3 has leaked. No joke. Real talk. Look here, look, listen. Canceled Star Wars Battlefront 3 gameplay leaks online. The build was found via the Free Radical archive. According to them, it comes from a build dated roughly a week before the game's cancellation. Quote, this build made in the final weeks of development is full of content that has not been seen before by fans. As this game was canceled during development, there are still bugs and issues which we can hope will be resolved through future modding. And as you can see, it is gameplay captured on the Wii, just over 1 week prior to the game's cancellation. The following is a trailer recreating the PC game trailer that was created by Free Radical in November of 2008. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. While we, the Free Radical archive community, intend to mod the game to change it, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, they have their Discord community, and they're going to continue trying to fix it up. Dude, a 36-second intro is wild. Is it coming? And copyright struck. So they actually have work in progress footage of the game running on the Wii. For one, I don't know about you guys, I remember all of those Wii ports, they were all garbage. Because even back in 2006 when the Wii launched, it was extremely popular, but it was super underpowered compared to the other consoles out there. So it just was nowhere near as powerful as it should have been. But yeah, there's some pop in and stuff like that. But all of these Wii ports always looked way worse than their primary console counterparts. But this is footage. This is footage of the canceled Star Wars Battlefront 3 game that never was. And it's really too bad. You know, I feel like just now Disney is starting to kind of figure out their piece or their games once more. Like we've had the Star Wars Jedi games, which are pretty solid when they work. We've had other things like Indiana Jones, of course, which is another Lucasfilm project. But it's taken them a long time. And even then there's a lot of growing pains involved with it. But this was like the golden age. They had a lot of really good stuff. And then Bob Iger had to come in and ruin it all. Cause that's just what Bob Iger does. You know, he comes in, he destroys, he conquers as he do. But it's just crazy to see. It's crazy to see. And again, like this whole thing with Bob Iger, I remember we looked on stream. There was this one from 2016, for example, 4 months ago, Walt Disney boasted loudly about the strength of its self-published video game unit. Tuesday, the company shut it down. The abrupt decision caught many in the industry off guard, especially given the company's announcement in December that the latest installment of Disney Infinity had quickly top the $200 million sales mark and become the leader in the so-called Toys to Life category, surpassing Activision's Skylanders and Warner Brothers' Lego Dimensions. But in fact, the writing has been on the wall for a while. A month ago, Disney pledged to make Disney Infinity 3.0 its biggest game ever via DLC, but the underlying message many walked away with was the company had decided not to make a new version of the game this year. The previous month, Disney had announced it would skip E3, the video game industry's annual trade show. Toys to Life, I forgot that was a thing. Skylanders, that was another big thing. Yeah, there were so many things in this era. That business is a changing business, the gaming industry specifically. And we did not have enough confidence in the business in terms of it being stable enough to stay in it from a self-publishing perspective. We knew going in that there would be lots of risk with this product, and the fact that we did so well initially gave us confidence to continue with it. The truth of the matter is that the risk that we cited at the beginning when we went into this caught up with us. Basically, Bob didn't think it was worth the risk. Didn't think it was worth the risk. He thought, it's going to be easier if we just pump out more increases to theme park ticket prices, if we pump out more Marvel movies, if we pump out more Star Wars spin-offs, let's just do that. And he did that, and it worked for a little while, and Disney has been struggling, let's just say, for a little while, just a little bit. You know, if you look back, they have pretty much stagnated since that era. So like 2015, 2016, this is when they would have shut down all their gaming division stuff, and you can see today they are trading at damn near the same price point. And, you know, they peaked right around the era post-COVID, but quickly plummeted. This was mostly because Bob Iger came in. Bob Chapek was ruining everything, and Bob Iger came in, fixed it up a little bit, and then it's back to where it was. But, yeah, I mean, Disney's had a rough go of it. But I think giving up on the games sector was a big blunder, because imagine what Disney could be doing now if they had built out their game studios, if they had continued to put out really high quality stuff that for a lot of us defined our childhoods, but they gave up on it because it wasn't worth the risk to them. You know, it's a little crazy. Chapek was a scapegoat. In general, I think the company was going to collapse in terms of stock price no matter what in the post-COVID era. And you're right, Chapek was like an easy person to blame. But part of it was that Chapek had a few fundamental presuppositions with the company that I think were false and damaging to the brand. He had a couple of pet projects that he tried to push. He wanted to increase profitability of the parks, but that priced a lot of people out and did a lot of brand damage, making people feel like Disney was just the soulless corporation that Bob Iger had tried really hard to shield the company from in terms of criticism. So I think, yeah, he was a scapegoat, but he also was kind of a deserving scapegoat. Chapek did greenlight Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah, that's true. But Chapek also was responsible for many billions of dollars of wasted money overhauling parts of the parks that didn't go anywhere. I think, you know, he was one of the driving forces behind letting the Star Wars Hotel be a thing, and that ended up losing tons of money and all sorts of stuff like that. Bob Paycheck. Yeah, I mean, the dude, I'm sure, made tons of money, but I think the fact that they had such a quick turnaround where they handed the keys to Bob Chapek, and then the company starts dropping in value because everybody's like, wait, this free money during COVID is not going to continue forever. And then they panic and pivot off, and they're like, okay, never mind. Everything sucks. It's his fault. But I think what we've seen is that Bob Iger also doesn't really know what the solution is. He doesn't have like the ultimate answers, though he was kind of acting like he did. Lots of industries had that problem, it seems. Yeah, I mean, gaming also suffered from it a lot. They got big blank checks because debt was free. So everybody financed themselves out the ass with crazy expansions and greenlighting new projects and stuff. Even though the ideas weren't there, they just ran with it because they were like, yeah, why not? It can't possibly flop if we spend $400 million on it. There's no way. He took my thing.